Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Nanny Faye Chrisley inducted into Hall of Fame. Chrisley knows best. Fans adored watching Nanny Faye on the USA Network show, and now she has been inducted into a Hall of Fame. She always got up to mischief, especially with her grandson Chase. Even though everyone knew it was heavily scripted, her one-liners got fans rolling with laughter. Now that she's been honored for it, how are fans reacting? Read on to find out. Nanny Faye on Chrisley Knows Best. So many fun moments come to mind when reflecting on the reality TV show that ended after Todd and Julie's incarceration. For example, who could ever forget the time she dressed up as a fortune teller? Or the time that she cheated in the go-kart race? Of course, many people remember her for her gambling. How she adored that. Of course, Todd gave her a hard time about that. But she wouldn't break her love for it. One day, Nanny Faye's life stopped being so funny. And that came when she appeared in the trial of Todd and Julie, who were convicted for tax evasion and fraud-related offenses. She wasn't charged with a crime, but she had to give evidence because she had signed some documents. They involved a bank action that she'd taken. At the time, many USA Network fans yelled about Todd, who had put his mom in a bad position. Mostly, she fell back on her age and couldn't recall much of anything. But now she's been honored, she sounds happier. Line of F4 reported about the reality TV star getting a nice honor because she was inducted into the South Carolina Entertainment and Music Hall of Fame. Class of 2024. What is it? Many people on social media have never heard of the place, which is apparently located in Myrtle Beach. The outlet explained that the organization made the announcement Monday morning at Furman University. Anyway, it seems that they honor people in the entertainment industry because of the impact that South Carolina is making on the country and the world. Roy Costner. Line of F4 cited Todd Chrisley's mom as saying, "You think about it, but you don't think it's ever going to happen to you." Additionally, the older lady said, "I always say, get up with a smile on your face and love in your heart. Be kind. It doesn't cost you anything," adding, "See, look where it's gotten me." The bottom line is that fans of Chrisley Knows Best always adored the grandmother of Chase, Grayson, Chloe, Lindsay, and Kyle. However, not everyone believes that she's innocent of involvement in Todd's bank fraud. One person on Reddit opined, if she, Nanny Faye, can shake down at casino poker tables with career gamblers on a regular basis, she had her wits about her when she was marching into that bank to transfer ownership of accounts. Others agreed, hence this remark. I think Faye is a lot sick, smarter, and devious than people think. Another person in the community wrote, there is a little small area at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center that it is called the South Carolina Entertainment and Music Hall of Fame. They basically just take people that come from SC that has, done something in entertainment or music. They added, I guess they are throwing her a bone during hard times for her. The velvet curtains of the grand auditorium shimmered under the soft glow of chandeliers. But they were no match for the glittering presence of the evening star, Nanny Faye Chrisley. She wasn't just arriving for an event. She was arriving for her moment. In a bold red pantsuit, complete with rhinestone spelling, "Bless your heart" across the back, Nanny Faye strutted down the red carpet, waving like she'd been doing it her whole life. Behind her trailed a small entourage, Savannah Chrisley, Grayson, Chase, and even Todd, freshly pressed and grinning, as if he were the proud stage mom. Tonight, Nanny Faye was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Not for sports, not for politics, and certainly not for cooking, as she once famously burned Jell-O. No, this was the Southern Sass and Spirit Hall of Fame, a highly exclusive, and frankly underpublicized, honor bestowed upon individuals who have mastered the art of wit, resilience, and never taking life too seriously. The announcement that started it all. It had all begun months earlier when Savannah was scrolling through emails and stumbled upon a subject line that read, "Nomination accepted, Faye Chrisley." At first, Savannah thought it was spam. After all, Nanny Faye had been nominated for things before, such as most likely to outfish the men in the neighborhood and Queen of Bingo Night. But this was real. A legitimate committee, inspired by years of her unfiltered wisdom on Chrisley Knows Best, had decided she was the perfect embodiment of living life with flair. When Savannah broke the news, Nanny Faye was halfway through a game of scratch-off. She said, narrowing her eyes, "Do I get a tiara or a lifetime supply of tequila?" "No, Nanny," Savannah laughed. "It's more about honoring your life and achievements." "Well, honey," Nanny Faye said, dusting off her hands, "if they're honoring me for my life, they better prepare for a speech with some stories they ain't ready for." The big night. The room buzzed as Savannah took the stage to introduce her grandmother. "If you know Nanny Faye," she began, "you know she's a walking blend of sweet tea and Fireball whiskey. She can charm the preacher on Sunday morning and win $200 at the slots by Sunday night. She's taught me more about resilience, humor, and loving life than anyone else. And she does it all in heels, even at the flea market." As Savannah spoke, Nanny Faye sat at her table, grinning mischievously and adjusting her sparkly handbag. She whispered to Chase, "You think they'll mind if I mention that time in Biloxi when I—" "Please don't," Chase muttered, knowing full well she would. The acceptance speech. When it was finally her turn, Nanny Faye sauntered up to the microphone with the confidence of a woman who had survived raising Todd Chrisley. She adjusted the mic, looked out at the audience, and said, "Well, y'all, I guess miracles really do happen. I've been waiting for my Hall of Fame moment ever since I beat Gladys Tucker in the county pie contest in 1973, and she still hasn't forgiven me." The crowd roared with laughter. "I don't know who decided to give me this award," she continued, "but I assume they've never seen me parallel park or try to use one of them self-checkout machines. But here we are." Her voice softened as she went on. "I've had a good long life, filled with family, friends, and a few bad decisions that I don't regret one bit. Life will knock you down sometimes, but I believe in getting back up, fixing your hair, and telling the world to kiss your grits." The stories they weren't ready for. Of course, Nanny Faye couldn't resist peppering her speech with a few infamous family tales. There was the time Todd thought he was gonna be a country singer. She said with a sly glance at her son, "Bless his heart, he had the outfit, but the only thing that twanged was his ankle when he tripped on stage. And then there was my trip to Vegas," she continued, pausing for effect. "Let's just say I left with more money than I came with, and a tattoo I can only show at the doctor's office." The audience was howling by the time she wrapped it up with, "So thank you for this award. And remember, you're never too old to raise a little hell." The standing ovation. When she finished, the crowd rose to its feet, applauding and whistling. Nanny Faye, ever the showwoman, blew kisses and held her award high. Todd was clapping so hard it looked like his hands might fall off, while Savannah dabbed her eyes. "Only my nanny," Savannah whispered to herself. The after party. The evening didn't end with the ceremony. The Chrisley clan moved on to a private after party, where Nanny Faye immediately requested the DJ play Sweet Caroline so she could lead the crowd in a sing-along. "I'm the Hall of Fame honoree," she said, sipping from a champagne flute. "I make the rules tonight." Chase filmed most of the party for social media, including the moment Nanny Faye attempted to teach Grayson how to two-step, while still holding her award in one hand. The morning after. The next day, Savannah posted a series of photos from the night with the caption, "Last night, my grandmother became a Hall of Famer. She's taught me how to laugh, how to stand tall, and how to never be ashamed of who you are. We love you, Nanny." Nanny Faye, however, had her own post, a selfie of her in bed, holding her award like a teddy bear with the caption, "Woke up still a legend."